Good morning, good people. Good morning. Today is October 2nd, 2025. It is about 6 a.m. here in southwestern Nevada, in Pahrump-Tucky, you choose. So yes, here we is. We are here today. Another great day. Another opportunity to make things happen. Had an interesting lunch meeting yesterday with a representative from one of the MCOs from Molina. Very good lunch, very good guy. Dean, somebody who cares, which is probably why he has the position he does. I'm doing this. Just so everybody knows my no-dos. Oops. And of course I have to have my green thing. I will also say interesting thing happened on the way to the forum. I received a picture from my daughter Cricket, aka Elise, of my granddaughter LJ Cool, which was an AI generated picture of her with my father, him holding her in his arms as she was for her school picture that they received yesterday. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing things. In the future, be like, duh, what's the big deal? That was nothing. That was, you're amazed at something that is nothing. Here's a video of LJ Cool with her grandfather talking about something. Righty, okay, so there you have it. Didache, anyone? Didache, anyone? That is our meme, our theme for today. Something we don't know, but we probably should. It might make a lot of things different. That could be your catchphrase today. Just say, have you ever heard of the Didache? Ever heard of the Didache? 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 Huh? Didache? You ever heard of it? Well, interesting. Okay, so here we is. Today is day 4 in week 4. Day 4 of week 4 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Day 4, week 4. Right. Day 4, week 4. Why do I keep saying that? Because it's almost done. So this week, week 4, is leadership, getting people to do what you want. We have spent the last 3+ weeks getting that this is an adventure that I get to live sort of as Viktor Frankl asked the question, when life asks you, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of your life? What is your answer going to be? What is the answer to life's question of you? What is the meaning of your life going to be? What will you say? Right. That is the question. What is the meaning of your life? So we get to also with existentialism, the idea is that our existence precedes our essence. Unlike a paper knife or other things, we don't think about it. And we are born and then we become. We are born and we become. Okay, Atticus von Atticus is here. He's going on a road trip today. Road trip with the other people are. Road trip, yeah, cool. So our essence, our existence precedes our essence. So under a Viktor Frankl approach to life. Our existence precedes our essence, and what we do is a search. Life is a search for meaning, not the other way around. Not our essence precedes our existence, as so many of our Protestant brothers and sisters believe. They believe that our essence precedes our existence. Viktor Frankl and others, existentialists, believe that our existence precedes our essence. So I don't want to get bogged down in that, but that was week 1. Why are we here? Who am I? Why do I behave the way I do? From a neuroscience perspective, what's going on in my brain? Week 2 is how does my brain work in terms of neurons, neurotransmitters, reticular activating system. Week 3 is now that I know how my brain works, when I look outside of my skull-sized kingdom, I see there are other people who think the same way I think. But I need to get those people to help me become successful. And part of that is helping them become successful. Reciprocity, which happens to be the title of Seth Godin's blog today, which we'll get to in a minute. So week 3 is I need to get other people. I need to cooperate with other people. I need them to cooperate with me. How do I do that, especially now knowing that their brain works the way my brain works? And then week 4 is putting it all together. Now the journey is afoot, not literally a foot. It is afoot. It has begun. And we got to not screw the pooch, as they say. We've got to continue on the journey of our life, not get caught in the shallows of life and have a miserable life not taking us on anywhere. We need to catch it at the high tide that will carry us further and be prepared. That's simple. So this week, week 4, pulling it together, we started with crisis leadership. What do you do when you're Lincoln, when you're Shackleton, when everything is falling apart around you, when everyone is losing their head and blaming it on you, as Rudyard Kipling might say? What do you do? How do you keep moving forward? And then Tuesday, the exact opposite. You're the emperor of the world. You're Marcus Aurelius. You're a Stoic philosopher. You can talk about what's going on around you. You can separate yourself phenomenologically. That's a tough one. Say that 3 times. You can do that. And how do you continue to move forward in a good way, where moral virtue is enough? And then Wednesday, actually that was Tuesday, Wednesday, yesterday, this time is flying. Yesterday, we learned about somebody who's kind of like us, right? Started out this way, life crumbles, everything pulled out. The table collapses, everything slides off. Again, like in the poem If, you make one heap of all your earnings and lose it in one toss. The things you built are broken. You've got to start over again. Okay, so that was Ignatius of Loyola, and he climbed his way out, having faith in the Lord, etc., etc. Today we continue that. And the idea being, if he could do what he did, we can do something. Each of us can do something. If Ignatius could climb out of his pit of losing everything, his whole identity gone, if Ignatius could do that, we can do something. We can do something. So we're going to continue that with him today. Tomorrow we'll get more into the Stoics, and we will continue. So that's the summary of where we is. Where we going? So again, theme of today, Didache, anyone? Didache. Try to say that. Didache. It looks like it's pronounced Didache. 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 Greek. It's Greek. Everyone Greek. Didache. that would be a question to ask people. Have you ever heard of the Didache? Ever heard of Didache? Didache? Have you ever heard of that? I'm a smart person. How come I've never heard of the Didache? I go to church. How come I've never heard of it? We're going to find out from AI a little bit later, from Perplexity. Okay, let's move on. Advice from an 80-year-old. Advice from an 80-year-old, people. Look people in the eye and smile. As told. Smile. Smile. Okay. Private joke. Bonk. What? What does that mean? I don't know. Had a very light dinner last night because I learned from the Didache fast on Wednesday and Friday. So I sort of did. Not cold turkey, but whatever. Okay, next. So we got advice from an 80-year-old. Look people in the eye. What does Seth Godin have to say? Reciprocity. Reciprocity. Our biggest commitments. The things we are most dedicated to rarely pay us back in equal measure. That might be the point. Don't expect to get back more than you give. Our biggest commitments, the things we're most dedicated to, rarely pay us back in equal measure. Our hobbies don't, that's for sure. That's why they're a hobby, not an investment. Okay, good. Thank you, Seth Godin. What else we got? Always good, Darren Hardy, Daily Stoic. Good one, talking about Marcus Aurelius, what we can learn when things go bad. If we see it as an opportunity to learn from it, what do we learn? Jordan Peterson, always a good one. All right, so maybe we can talk for a minute about the Didache. Tomorrow I will be better informed. But actually, before I do that, let's say yesterday was an interesting morning, and now I'm understanding why I could fast. Because I had our 8 o'clock volunteers breakfast where we had new people there. Linda Rhodes was there. Ready to go, making things happen. That was good. Gloria, of course, was there. She's not new. We had Santos there. Driver of the van was there, showed up. Good. So it was a good, and we had Deshaun there. That was okay too. All righty. What else? Beep bop, rebop. Yeah, we should have Deshaun go as well. Deshaun needs to go as well. Note to self, send a text to Deshaun that he's going today too. Next. Didache, anyone? Didache. Well, the Didache is an old Christian document that could have been written close to but before the year 70, but most likely, certainly in the first century, well, the beginning of the second century, the early hundreds. Probably it could have been around the 70s before the temple, destruction of the temple, could have been that. But most likely after that, maybe in the early hundreds, it is a Christian document that have been fragments of, and there have been references to it in ancient writings, not really ancient writings, but in writings of the early church people, early church fathers, the very early pre-Nicene period. But then in the 1880s, a full intact copy was found in by an Orthodox priest, metropolitan, somebody. And yeah, so now we have this thing. And it's basically a manual on how to be a Christian or how to run a church. What? Yeah. What? An early manuscript in wide distribution was considered, many times discussed whether it should be part of the canon. Was determined no, shouldn't be part of the canon because it's a different sort of thing. It's a manual. It's not a theological thing. It's a manual. But it should complement it. It should be another work that goes along with the New Testament, with the canon. And we don't really know about it because there weren't a lot of copies. And my hunch is there weren't a lot of copies because it was circulated around and they just wore out. They got lost. It wasn't like, here is a copy that's very rare from the beginning, so we're going to keep it safe and secure so people don't get it. That the copies were there, they were used, worn out. It's like a missile for a church. Millions of missiles are made, but how many missiles from 1993 remain? Millions were printed, but if you wanted to go find one, could you actually find a missile? We're talking about a Catholic printed document for churches. How many of them from 1993 are still out there? And be like, yeah, everybody that went to church in 1990, millions of people, billions of people, or a billion people, well, say hundreds of millions of people held a 1993 missile, held a missile in 1993. They read it, they used it. Hundreds of millions of people did. How many copies are still left on the earth? Probably a handful. Why? Because it wasn't deemed important? No, that's not why. Because it was used every week or maybe every day. So that's not why. So therefore, why? Why is the missile from 1993, why are there so few copies? Well, because they got worn out, thrown out, and discarded because there's a 1994 and 1995. What's the point of having it? And so the Didache might have been so common, so prevalent that there was no need to keep, nobody felt the need to keep a copy. It was like, oh, there'll be another one. We'll keep, if we need one, we know where to find it. And they just wore out. And nobody viewed it as a sacred document. It was a manual. But a manual that's the foundation, a key foundation of Christianity. Everybody knew it and accepted it at the time. It's not ancient wisdom. It's like the Lord's Prayer. Everybody knows it. It's an important thing, but we don't cherish it. If you say to a typical person, can you recite the Lord's Prayer? Sure. Do you have a copy written anywhere in your room other than what's in the Bible? Do you have it? No. So I say for an experiment, say, hey, have you ever heard of the Didache? And the real question is, so an intact copy was found in the 1880s. What if Martin Luther or Calvin, what if the Didache was still around when they were doing what they were doing? Would Christianity be different today? Let's ponder that. Okay, and cut. Boom.